forget or change their mind.
Can I ask Jim a question? I love the Dresden books, by the way. The only one I haven't read is the latest one with your short stories in it. But in following the whole series, did you set out and flock that to begin with, or did you sell like one or two books and then have to come along and add more to lengthen that character's arc?
Well, first, you have to know that I originally put the Dresden Files together as a class project to prove to my writing teacher how wrong she was about her writing theory. I showed her. But yeah, I planned it out to be 20 books and then a big three-book, a big old apocalyptic trilogy at the end. Who doesn't love apocalyptic trilogies? And, I showed the outline for it to my writing teacher. So, what do you think? You think that's good? She's like, think that'll be okay? She's like, yeah, I think you can get a series 20 books long sold. You'll be doing fine. Yeah. So yeah, it might take me a little bit longer than 20 books. So at the moment, it's 20-ish books.
There's threads there.
Well, a couple. And there's more of them as I go. It's one of those things that kind of depends on how well I try and keep improving as a writer, and how well I can how much more stuff I can fit into still fast-paced and enjoyable reads, and whether my kid goes to graduate school. But yeah, I think I'm planning it out to begin with. We're pretty much on schedule for what I wanted to get done.
So you already set that up before you even...
And everything but the romance, but as it turns out, the person that you're in love with can sometimes influence other portions of your life. I wanted the romance to be something that was sort of organic, that would grow up. But,
good job, Shannon.
And so, did you propose the 20 to your editor?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and they all had horrible pun names, and they wouldn't let me use them. No, you can't do that. Why don't they have pun names? Well, it's too much like Terry Pratchett. It's like, gosh, yeah, I'd hate to be associated. Right. Yeah, so the first book was semi-automagic, and they didn't like that. They didn't like abracadabra, and they didn't like... There was a bunch of things they didn't like.
I like that.
Somebody else had done it, like in 1963 or something. There was a...
And they remembered.
Yeah, someone remembered.
They.
Oh yeah, just the they, them.
It's a great series. Thank you for writing.
Question there?
And you talked about big things and how much research you do, but how much research do you do for small elements of your stories, like weapons, cars, things that people use, and locations? And then has there ever been times when, after your books come out, you said, I really should have researched that because some fan just told me that no one can pull a desert eagle out of their belt because it really won't fit there?
Way too much research thanks to the internet. Click. Oh, pyramids. Wait.
Yeah, pretty much as far as, I for any particular story, I'll usually sit there and usually I start writing along and come up to a point where it's like, gee, I don't know anything about that, and then it's about 2 days at the library later, I know far too much about it, and then end up still getting nasty letters from people that I got it wrong.
Just get all your gun details right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of gun nuts that will correct you.
Especially in Arizona.
Military details are another important one. People who are in the military will come back and...
Chain of command.
Chain of
like
command.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, my editor made me throw away one scene from this because it wouldn't have ever happened that way, so... At least the editor did it before I got the nasty letters.
The great thing I always do is when I get the nasty letters, though, I'll ask that person, hey, if I'm writing about this, this particular firearm or explosive or what have you in the future. Would you mind if I like wrote you an email and ran some details past you? Because, you know, you're being a Navy SEAL and all. And the response to that is always like, yes, I would love that. That would be awesome. And now I've got somebody else to help me out if I need to.
And I do a lot of the same sorts of things. If I know someone who I know has a good idea of the answer, I'll run it by that person. Right?
Do you have a good feel of when to stop researching?
When the books do.
Yeah, research is it's a black hole. You can research as much as you want.
And some people do, and they never finish their first book, which is sad.
But I think you do, one of the dangers of too much research is you end up just being basically a hack writer, writing what everyone else did before. And to a certain degree, you have to kind of quickly get the knowledge and synthesize it and put it into your story.
And you have to be really careful not to put too much of it in. Because by golly, you did that research. And you want that, you know, it may only be one sentence or a half a sentence. You know, but I spent 3 days on that. That's the really hard part.
I suffered for my art, now it's your turn.
So a little more of a general question. For each one of us that hopes to someday be one of you guys sitting on that side of the table with a book with a name on it, what's the secret?
Yeah, you've got to get it written, and you've got to be. It really helps if you're too stupid to stop. I mean, honestly, if I was stupid writing out a 20-book series, that was ridiculous. There was no way that was gonna work. That was gonna happen. But I was too stupid to know that, so I did it. And that's been a major advantage for me in my career, my stupidity. You do. You have to decide you want it and go after it.
Hit your head on the brick walls until bricks start popping out.
I think you have to write a lot, because the more you write, the less valuable those words become. So you can ditch 10,000 crappy ones and it's okay. Whereas when you're first starting, those 10,000 seem precious. So I think the more you work and the more you write, the more you're able to cut, which will make your work much better.
Yeah, once you finish that first book, start on your second book. So
Yeah.
And that's where most people get stuck, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people get stuck on trying to sell that first book, and maybe that first book isn't so good. Or maybe.
Yeah, for short stories, I have 368 rejections before I sold one. And then I sold 2 short stories in 24 hours. My first and second sale. So you just have to keep trying and get it out. And it's really, summing up is 6 to 10. I mean, I sold my first short story right away. I got paid for it, $1.50. It was a very short story. And then I didn't sell another one for 4 years. But I did not give up. Did not give up. I just kept writing.
There are big names. I see Jane Yolen posting on Facebook about getting rejects. You would think that Jane Yolen sent something that the editor would fall down on the ground and kiss the hem of her gown.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, yes, I'll publish it, but no, she gets rejected regularly, so just be stubborn and send them out again. Maybe just a little more quarterly.
Breaking into writing, I always thought of it as it's like when you and your friend are running away from a bear. You don't have to be faster than the bear, you just have to be faster. As a writer, when you're breaking in, you're not in competition with all the established people. They have to print a certain number of newbies every year, or eventually they run out of writers. So really,
Die off.
Yeah. So really, you're murdered by frenzied editors. But really, I mean, you're only competing with the other newbies. So if you keep writing, keep working, keep improving your talent, eventually you'll have a better talent than the other newbies who haven't been doing it as long as you.
And actually, some of the old